Hi, you guys. My name is Doug Theus. This is my wife, Cecilia Theus, and we're here to give a testimonial to Lucas because he trained our son, Cameron Theus.
It all started, Cameron was in 8th grade, and he trained with Lucas and his basketball team and fell in love with it, that he started training just one-on-one. And come to high school, Cameron convinced one by one all of his high school teammates to start training, to the point when they were probably juniors and driving, they were here coming at 5:30 in the morning on their own. Not because we were pushing them, but because they fell in love and really were addicted to what Lucas was offering to them.
Yeah, as a parent, being an ex-athlete and being a police officer, you know the importance of taking care of your body. And so my son was a basketball player and wanted to get, and he was very fast and was really quick, but he was not very stable. So he wanted to get himself stronger, so he prepared himself to play in games and be a stronger player and a better player. And we would watch Lucas. I remember him training someone at a park across the street from Agora High School, and really caught my eye at how he was training that person, taking him through step by step. And I got his flyer, and that's how we kind of got introduced to Lucas. And as a parent, when you introduce your kid to somebody to train them, you're looking for somebody, and what attracted us to Lucas is he was very honest. He was very knowledgeable about the body and the anatomy of the body and how everything worked. Fast twitch muscles as opposed to slow twitch muscles. And he had a lot of integrity, and he's very caring. And what he did, he held the kids accountable. I think one of the things that I really liked is when the kids started training with him, he would test them. He would test their speed, he would test how high they jump and other things. And then he would put them through a training program, taking them through progressively slower, not starting them out so fast that they would get burned out. And then, a month, maybe a couple of months later, he would test them again and show them what the training had done for them. And that was really important to get the kids really to enjoy what he was doing.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah.
What I liked is that they were only competing with themselves.
Yep.
Because in life, it's always a competition. When you're playing on a travel team, you're competing for your spot. It's competing, but here it was like about your own progress. And even though you're training as a group, it was just you're competing to get yourself to that next level. And the energy that Lucas instilled in them was just, you want that for your kid. He's positive reinforcing, the energy and the motivation, and he's just so inspiring that all of those kids, you could tell they really needed that, because sometimes you don't get that when you're playing on a team. But here, even though he trained as a group, they got that one-on-one with him the entire time.
And with Lucas, it was never about the money. It was more about getting those kids to perform at their highest level, right? And so that was never something that we thought that he was trying to do. But additionally, the environment that he created, the culture that he created, it was more of a team atmosphere. And so like my wife said, it was never them competing against each other. It was more them trying to get their personal best, right? And what Lucas did, he made it fun for them. Sometimes I sit and watch him train Cameron and his friends, and they thoroughly enjoyed what they were doing. And so much so, like when Cameron started to drive himself to train with Lucas, and he would come home, he literally would talk to us like 20 minutes about the training he just did without us even having to prompt him.
He loved
so that
it.
tells you how much he loved coming and training with Lucas. And it was just incredible to watch.
I think when they were, the team was being trained, here was this like little Agora team, no one thought anything, but they were all here as a team working out. And year after year, they were getting better, they were getting stronger. They could see that. By the time they were all seniors, they were 10-0, they won Marmonte, and they accredited a lot of that to the discipline, the consistency, the strength that they all got from Lucas. And when they had their basketball banquet, of course Lucas was there because they wanted to honor him,
The success that team had, they actually made it to the CIF 2A championship game. And part of that was because of the training they did with Lucas. Aside from the things they did on their own, the training, the basketball shooting around, stuff like that, that strength training got them to a point where they were much better than the other teams that they were playing. So much so that you'd watch them play, and I hate to say they never got tired, but they never got tired. what you saw in the first quarter is what you saw in the fourth quarter, right? And that was those kids' dedication coming and training with Lucas on a regular basis, very consistent. And what I liked about Lucas is he held them accountable. He was always present. He would come to the basketball games, but also he would keep in touch with them through texts, making sure they were following up on the things that he gave them. He would actually give them homework, and he would actually give them meal plans and things to do when he wasn't around.
And they got so excited when they got it. I got a text from Lucas because they're still kids, but to get that one-on-one attention that you don't always get from your coach because it's on to the next game. It's not that meant a lot to them, and that's the kind of person that Lucas is. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, during that time when my son was in high school, that was the year where they had to sit out for COVID, and so Lucas made sure that all those guys they continued their training, that it wasn't going to cut off at all. So he would reach out to them. He would make sure that if he could, he would meet them in the park, and they did a lot of training. And it was great. It just kept them motivated. It kept them focused on the goal. Mm-hmm. And even if any of these guys were going to go on to play, basketball in college or do whatever, what it instilled in them was a work ethic. And I can tell you, I can speak for my son, like him working out is a lifestyle for him. He still does it, still keeps himself in shape, and he still uses the workouts that Lucas sent him. I think he has either a text or it's a printout of some workouts that Lucas gave him. He still uses it. So that just goes to show you how much he looks up to Lucas.
Yeah. I mean, our son started in 8th grade, and he's a senior in college. He comes every summer, and he may do a workout or two. His girlfriend comes. She's a heptathlon athlete at Oregon University. And they both will pop in. And so Cameron is still very connected to Lucas.
Yeah. And, if you talk to some of the guys that were on the team with Cam, they all keep in touch with Lucas. And if you ever bring up Lucas's name, you got to see how their eyes light up because they enjoyed training with him so much. And that, as a parent, that makes you feel good, especially when you give your kid to somebody to let them train them, let your kid be around that person. He was such a positive influence on them, and we were really happy for that.
It's such a positive culture too. I always tell Lucas when I run into him that he is such a blessing to this community because there's so much sports and travel teams where it's all about the dollar signs. I mean, let's be real. We all get caught up because you feel like your kid's going to be left behind, but you don't get that sense when you come to Lucas at all. I work at the school right behind here. I know so many kids that come here and I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna love it. My kid went there. And even when they're older, I'm like, oh my God, you're still coming here. Such a gift and such a blessing to this community to have someone who's so inspiring, so motivating, and he instills, accountability, consistency. And confidence, because that's one thing that a lot of kids do not get from a trainer is really to build up their confidence.
And I think what Lucas does is he gives them something to look at, meaning like a kid comes in and he says, I want to be here. So Lucas goes, okay, if you want to be there, this is what you have to do. And he holds them accountable to that, which was huge for us because, and my son, he
wanted to dunk, remember?
He wanted to dunk, right? But Lucas got him there, right? And he was always a very good athlete. He could jump. But what Lucas did, he really focused on, stability and him being stronger and him being able to play at a high level for a long period of time and just being a strong athlete. And it was incredible just to watch, the interaction between the two. And Lucas really comes from a service orientation point of view. He's there for service. He's there. He's always present. He's always holding them accountable. And he was just a fantastic trainer. So from my point of view, if anybody wanted to get their kid trained, Lucas is the person to go to. We would recommend, Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, we've recommended Lucas several times to several people, especially when you meet parents whose kids are younger and they want their kid to get into some sort of weight training program. The first thing I tell them, man, you ever heard of Lucas Quinn? You need to get a hold of him and get your kid training with him because he's great, right? Mm-hmm. And I've watched Lucas with his kids, and when I saw him, training my son and his friends, it was almost like those are his kids, right?
Absolutely.
That's how much he cared about them, and those guys, they love Lucas. They just
he creates that family culture.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see. And we were here when Lucas would train out on the basketball courts out there, and he had all the weights in his car, and our kids would take the weights
These
and they
little
bring
eighth
them out,
graders dragging
and
these
they drag them
weights.
out, and they drag them back. But then when he got this spot, we were so happy for him because look at it, this place is incredible, right? This is a testament to Lucas right here, and like
Yeah.
my wife said, he is a gem for this community,
Absolutely.
for sure.